Have you experienced this? You have a lot to do, but only very little time. And somehow you're in a great energy, in a great flow. Your mind is so clear. And so you realize in just 2-3 hours, you have done as much as you would do sometimes in a whole day. Well, wonderful, great scenario. But I'm sure you have also experienced scenarios in which you had a lot of time. You allocated prime time to something very, very important because it needs to get done. And so you are sitting at your desk, you really want to connect to your best potential, but somehow it's not happening. The energy is just not there. You're not able to connect the dots, that creativity is not flowing. One of the main reasons I see again and again is that we put more importance to time management than energy management. Is that really correct? My name is Christoph Glaser, and over the last 20 years, together with my team, I had the pleasure to work with more than 500,000 employees and leaders around the world in the field of training and coaching. And one of the most important topics for me, again and again, is the aspect of managing one's energy. We have seen it all. The books on time management, the podcasts on it. We have all the Google Calendar, surely a to-do list. But still, time remains a scarcity, isn't it? We are all running and running and running, getting more and more done. The simple formula for stress is too much to do and not enough time. But the problem is time is a limited resource. However much I manage my time, at the end of the day, I will just have had 24 hours. Whether I'm the CEO or the last employee in the company, it's the same thing. I can't change it. 7 days in a week, more is not provided. Well, if that's the case, then quality of time is maybe even more important than the quantity of time. And how can we really make use of this very moment? Well, we need to be in the right energy. And what we have seen at the Telex Institute, that unfortunately many leaders today focus too much on managing the time and not enough on managing the energy. Well, what is energy? Einstein would have said, everything is energy. Matter is basically an illusion. Everything flows. And when things are in a flow, when we are in a flow, well, that's great. McKinsey has suggested in a long study over 10 years with 5,000 employees that when their employees were in a flow, they were 5 times more productive. And one of the dimensions getting into that is having a good and a high energy. When we talk about energy, we can look at 3 dimensions basically. One is the quantity of it, right? Sometimes we have lots of it and sometimes just not enough. And when we have a lot of energy, the way we look at the world is very different. Our mindset is different. The glasses through which we look at the world is different. Would you agree? You wake up, you have your food, you had a lot of sleep, and you feel life is great, and you work a lot, maybe too much, and again, and you don't sleep enough over a long period of time, and you look at the world and you feel, oh my God, everything is so gloomy. I'm gloomy, my colleague is gloomy, my partners are gloomy, my family is not good, my whole life situation is not good. Why? Because maybe the energy is low. And then we can think of energy also in terms of quality. Sometimes I just feel so good, isn't it? Good from within, pleasant, a positive energy. It's great. It's great to be with people who have a positive energy. And sometimes it's negative, it's unpleasant. I just don't feel good in my skin. I woke up with the wrong foot. What to do, how to manage. Very, very important. And energy has a direction. Would you agree? Our mind can focus. We are dedicated to achieve something. We mobilize all behind that goal. That can create miracles at the end of the day. So how can we manage these 3 dimensions? And really, we are talking about the basics then. We're talking about food. Food, vitally important. And today we discuss it a lot, right? The right amount of food. The right quantity of food. Sleep, of course, the second source of energy, I would say. And a positive mind is important. Right? The way we look at the world is important. And last but not least, the breath. Now, all of those are vitally important, but let's look at it a little bit closer. We can live a couple of days, some say even a couple of weeks without eating. It's possible. We can live without sleep for a couple of days, but how long can we live without breathing? The breath is probably the most fundamental source of energy, and sometimes I wonder why we are not talking more about it. Where are all these conferences and the books and where are all these podcasts about the power of the breath? I mean, look around in your office. I'm sure you're asking your friends and colleagues, did you sleep well? Did you have your food? Have you ever asked your colleagues, how's your breath today? And then you start discussing what's a little deeper and maybe not so deep today. Today, scientists suggest that we use only 70% of our lung capacity. Now imagine if you would use only 70%, if you would only get 70% of the food you need. If you would only get 70% of the sleep you need, that would drain the energy. Now we are not using in average because of the way we structure our day, because we are sitting a lot, because we are not moving the body enough. We are not using the capacity of the most important source of energy. The good news is we can change that. There are tools and techniques which are followed closely by science, which are very powerful and proven. The yogis knew it. They called it the pranayamas. Prana, the life force, and yama, a Sanskrit term to house that life force. And I like very much that idea of us being in an ocean almost of energy, isn't it? Because there's air all around us. But are we able to absorb it, make it our own? That's vitally important. And there's powerful techniques. I learned them 30 years ago, and we are using it in the Telex Institute to the benefit of our clients. And if you would like to try it out, I connect you here to a link. You can click on it and you can do a breathing technique. Just takes a couple of minutes and you can find out the benefit for yourself. So in this session, I wanted to talk with you about the fact that we many a times overestimate the importance of the quantity of time, but we might underestimate the importance of the quality of the time, the importance of the energy. So managing energy is equally, if not more important than managing your time. And for that, the breath is one of the main keys. I wish you a day full of energy and all the best. See you soon. And if you like this channel, I'm happy to invite you to subscribe to it. And twice a week, you will get our latest videos.